all the honor and the praise. And Brian, thank you for introducing me. Where's Lee? Okay, I really want to say thank you to Lee Brown. Years ago, we used to come together in Harrisburg and do fashion shows and all that, and he always would pump me up, and he would always tell me, "You're bigger than this." And who would know I would come home almost 30 years later, and he got me here. And I'm so thankful for him for having such a vision and a heart for Harrisburg as he do. Hi. And hi, baby. So I just want to tell Lee thank you. I don't know where he is. But he read off a lot of my accolades and a lot of accomplishments that I have done, a lot of dreams that I have lived. I just came to let everyone know that most of the things that I've achieved and conquered and won out throughout the whole world and did, it all started from a dream here in Harrisburg in the projects. Lee, just telling them I just thank you for everything, and because of you, I'm here, and I'm so honored, and I'm grateful to you for always believing in me. But the road of getting to where I had to be hasn't always been easy. All before I turned 25 years old, I dealt with a lot of trials and tribulations and hardships and a lot of misfortune. And most people know me as Penny that does hair. Hair has been my gift. I started doing hair when I was very young. And although I've done people all over the world and worked at Grammys, and my work's been in Forbes magazines and Essence magazines and all these great places, and I was able to even sponsor a salon for a small time in Africa and do all these great things. The reason why and how I got there was because I got into the hair industry because how it changes people's lives. I used to watch my mom do hair in the projects and right over there at Jackson Licks and also on Cameron Street projects. And when women came into the house or the salon she worked at on 6th Street, they would come into the salon and they were sometimes broken, depressed, and sad. And I was just a little girl. And when she would get done with their hair, they would get out the seat like nothing was ever wrong. And that fascinated me at 5 years old. And at 5 years old, I knew that I had a dream inside of me that I wanted to do hair. I wanted to be a part of something that would change people's lives. Women that came to my mother may have been abused or tired or exhausted or just, going through a lot. And when she would get done doing their hair and it changed them, that's what I wanted to be a part of. And so I got into the hair industry because it transformed people. And I never chased the dream of being like a celebrity or anything like that. I never chased the money. I chased purpose. I chased God. I chased me, the God inside of me. I wanted to be doing something that changed people's lives. And that's how I reached all those accolades. But at 9 years old, in the projects in 1972, where an amazing dream came to me is when we got a flood came to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. In 72, we were in the projects on Cameron Street, and the flood came. I woke up one early morning in the projects with all my friends and family there with being conquered by this water. And even though that water came and brought destruction, something woke up inside of me. How many of you know that sometimes when destruction comes, something is birthed inside of you? But when I looked out my window in the projects and saw all that water, I was connected to God. And I was reminded of Moses when he went to the Red Sea and he was in front of all that water. And the power of God opened up the Red Sea and let Pharaoh and them get through. Long story short, we have ended up going to this, I think we're this, somewhere for the mission to get help. And while we were there, I was introduced to missions work and understanding servanthood and how the gift of being a servant, the gift of giving back, is amazing and it's powerful. I saw how people were helping people. And so While I was in the mission with my mom, we were working with the Salvation Army and everything. I witnessed people serving and helping, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I ran into a lady, and she told me she worked in Africa and all over the world. And I want to just tell you how powerful a dream is. A lot of you have dreams inside of you and have plans to do things and might have gotten derailed. But since I was 9 years old in that flood in 1972, when I met the young woman in there and told me about missions work, God promised me that someday I would go to Africa and I would hold babies and I would be able to do hair there. Now, I was only 9 years old. But because I knew what my plan and my purpose was at a young age of doing hair and servanthood, I began to get attacked. So all before I was 25 years old, I dealt with sexual abuse. I was molested by men and women. I had 2 brutal rapes. One almost killed me. I dealt with bullying. I dealt with low self-esteem. I dealt with homelessness. I dealt with drug addiction, alcoholism. I dealt with loneliness and depression. I dealt with me and not forgiving myself for making bad choices because I knew better. I dealt with a whole lot of things because when you know who you are, the attack comes. But how many of you know that the power of God and my love for God was in me and it allowed me to persevere through and keep moving? I want y'all to know that that dream that was inside of me since I was 5 and then came to me again at 9 years old saved my life because every time, no matter what type of abuse I would go through, no matter what came my way to knock me down, I was like a ball player. I knew I had a goal to get to. I knew I had a dream. I knew I had a purpose. So every time I would be dealt issues and pain and sorrow, mourning, all kind of things, I would just hold on to my dream. And I would make moves through the madness. No matter what I went through, no matter what I did, I made moves through the madness. I held on to my dreams. And I was always proud of where I came from. And I always took the women from the projects and the people I grew up with here in Harrisburg. And I've seen the struggles and I've seen the love that we had. And no matter what people say about our city now, we come from good people. And no matter if I was in Swaziland, Africa, or in LA, or no matter where I was at in the world, whatever I was going through, or whatever pain or hardship I would endure, I would always go back and remember my dreams, and I would always remember Harrisburg, the love, and how the community was. And it would always keep me strong. But how about, like in this book I have, Living Past Your Pain to Live Your Dreams. Yes, it's my life story, and it tells a lot about what I went through. And you may cry a little, you may laugh. It is entertaining. It is overwhelming even for me sometimes when I read it back to myself because I can't believe that a little girl born Penna'e Wilson here in Harrisburg made it all the way to Africa, made it all the way to television. That was curtains that I used to look at when the Grammy Awards would come on TV when I was a little girl here in Harrisburg and say, who's behind those curtains doing hair and makeup? One day I got there and I was behind them curtains. And I did hair for the Grammy Awards and the BET Awards and the Soul Train Awards because I held on to my dream. But that dream I had at 9 years old, there's one chapter in my book that talks about this stroke I had. I had a stroke. And that's because I wasn't being obedient. All of us was born with that voice of God. I had a stroke because I wouldn't yield to the voice of the Lord. I wouldn't yield when he would tell me, don't put that in your mouth. Don't eat this. Don't drink that. I wouldn't listen to God when he would say, get up and exercise. I wouldn't listen to God when he would say, do this or do that, so that you'll have a healthier lifestyle. Because when you have a career such as mine, you can't just be looking good. You have to do good and you have to feel good. You cannot have that dream inside of you and want all this wealth and want all this fame and want, all this, your business to just grow, but you're not taking care of yourself. Because to be in business, to be a leader, to be a person that wants to help people change their life, you have to be in tip-top shape. And I didn't understand that because I was hurting. Although I was traveling all around the world and although I had all this stuff, all these material things, I'm working with Steve Harvey, Ruby D, Whitney Houston, all kind of people. I went great places, been on private planes, did all kind of stuff. But nothing was making me happy because I wasn't healed. Nothing wasn't making me happy. So I turned to food and drugs and all kind of things to suppress the pain. It landed me, one day I woke up in a stroke. And long story short, they say hashtag long story short is who Penna'e is. But they told me after I had this stroke that I would never talk or walk again. They told me that if I did walk or talk again, that it would never be the same. But how many of you know the power of God? I'm telling you, I'm standing here today because when that neurologist showed me my x-ray, that my oxygen wasn't going to my brain, and she said those words to me, in my spirit, you know what came back to me? My dream. The dream I had here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in 1972, when God promised me that I would go to Africa one day and I would hold babies and I would do hair there. And so I fasted. I committed to a 21-day fast. And on day 17, I began to talk and walk. But you know what else happened? 6 months after my stroke, that the neurologist said that I wouldn't talk or walk again, I was in Swaziland, South Africa, holding babies. I was over there sponsoring a salon with my name on the front of it. And I shared that story in my book to tell you that holding on to your dream is power. Holding on to that pain and sorrow and everything that's inside of you will hinder you and it will stop you. But because I believed in God, and because those dreams and visions that He put inside of me when I would be all alone, I trusted Him. And it strengthened me. It set me free. I went through so much. And after I got to Africa, it just seemed like all hell broke out in my life. But no matter what I went through, I would always go back to my roots. Right. I would always go back and remember that I am Penny Wilson. I changed my name to Penna'e because I needed to do that to be able to walk the walk that I knew that God wanted out of me. So while my flesh was over here being disobedient and being all out in the world and doing whatever I wanted to, my spirit was with God the whole time. So a lot of times people say, oh, her name's Penny. I don't know why she called herself Penna'e. Well, I did what I needed to do to be able to stand up. Because when I paint on my face, draw these eyebrows and put my lashes on, put my clothes on, I turn into Penna'e. And I know at that point, that's what I needed to be, more than a conqueror through Christ Jesus. I know that I had to do something to answer the call on my life. And no matter what I would do in the physical and in the flesh, and no matter what nobody said about me or nobody thought about me, I knew that God was in me. And I knew that I had dreams inside of me. And changing my name gave me something. And it gave me a power. Now today I'm healed, so I don't care what you call me. You can call me Alderman, you can call me Pen, you can call me Penny, Penna'e, you can call me whatever you want. But I did what I needed to do. I did what I needed to do so I could be successful in business. I did what I needed to do to be a good person. And I know that here all these small businesses are here and people got dreams inside of them. It first starts with you. You have to make sure that you first are committed to wanting it to come to pass. That you believe it. You can have that business, anything that's inside of you. But you have to stay focused and committed. You have to trust God. Yes. I just want to share with y'all some steps that I've taken to really turn everything around to even get this book to come out inside of me. Because for a long time, no matter how many celebrities I did or what TV show or what magazine I was doing or what I had on, I didn't feel good about myself. I was 2 and 3 people because I kept carrying the pain. So how I got free to live past my pain, to live my true dream of wealth and success and true happiness was that first I had to forgive myself. The first thing you have to do is forgive yourself. and forgive others. And that's for you. And after I did that, my faith was restored. Okay? Amen? Then after forgiveness, you have faith. When you have faith restored, then you can be restored. Then God allowed restoration to take place in my life. Yes, you cannot think that you're going to go to be successful and be healthy without taking some steps to get there. And it takes time. Don't measure yourself against people. Don't try to connect to people for elevation. That was another problem I had. I thought to be successful and to have all the things that God was showing me, that I had to be in a certain clique and hang with certain people. How disappointing was that? No. When you disconnect from God, that's when you fail. God will elevate you. God will expand your territory. God will make it all happen for you. But you'll get confused and think because this person's successful in this area, this person got this and they got that, that you need to be around them. No, ma'am. Stay connected to God. He can do it for you, because if he can do it for them, he can do it for you. Okay? After I had restoration take place, then he allowed me to rest. He allowed me to rest. Because when he's restoring you, you have to rest. Amen? So, because you can't really get all God has for you in your spirit because you're moving around too much, trying to figure things out. So when you be still, you can hear the voice of the Lord. And when you be still, that's when the power of God works. Sometimes you don't even have to make moves. You just have to be real still and watch him work it out. Because he will. Then after you're real still, he can make moves. And then while you're still, it's time for you to evaluate. Evaluate people, places, and things. Okay? You gotta let some folks go. Yes, gotta let them go. It's some places you go. When you got that dream inside of you can't hang around certain people. Let them say whatever they want to say. Because see, in my book, it'll show you from hanging with the wrong crowd how I got addicted to crack cocaine. 8 years of cocaine and crack addiction from just one try. One try. I already was successful doing hair. I was born successful. I had a gift inside of me. And my clientele started at 9 years old down there in the projects. And by 11, that kitchen was getting full. And by 15, I was out of control. By 20 years old, I was a business owner and had a clientele that was out of this world. But guess what? I was broken. You see what I'm saying? You cannot try to be with people that ain't got nothing to do with where you going. And I turned around and started entertaining the wrong crowd. One try took me down, okay? So I was 2 and 3 people. I was operating in my gift, and that was God's favor on my life. But now I'm walking in my purpose. And sometimes you can be good at, some people can cook good, some people can style clothes good, and when you try to do something else, and you say, well, I want to do this, they be like, what you want to do that for? Well, I had been trying to write this book for years and years to try to get a book out. But because I was so successful in the hair industry, everybody kept saying, what you want to do that for? You on TV, you this, you that, doing hair. That was my gift. I mean, my gift that God given me. But how about he gives you many gifts? That's right. And I'm turning 55 years old on July 4th. And I'm going to start a whole new career. Amen? Because I'm free from people. I'm free from people telling me you got to do hair. I'm done with doing hair like that, but I had this ability to write, and I wanted to share my story and to help motivate women. And even though my mom just told me that they didn't understand what I was saying until I was 5, I couldn't talk. That's my aunt right there. And I couldn't walk until I was 4. I couldn't do a whole lot of things. I wasn't that great in school. So every time I would try to say I want to be a writer and do things that had to do with reading and writing, I got discouraged. But how about when the power of God, and God told me that I was a writer, and I began to believe him. I stopped trying to check with people. So sometimes when God speaks to you, you can't share everything with people. Just keep it to yourself and work on it. So that's why at 55, the writer he been told me I was, I'm just now, it's being birthed now. Amen. So once you evaluate and you change people, places, and things, then he will elevate you. Elevation is now, Harrisburg. Yes. Elevation is now. And you all have to come together with your families. You have to come together as a city. A house divided cannot stand. If you want better, teamwork really does make the dream work.
It do.
It does. I wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have a team behind my business, my brand. I have a fitness person to make sure that I eat right. Because I want to be successful for real. I don't want to just look successful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to act like I'm successful when I'm out here with you and at home I'm somebody else. Because I've done that for a long time. Amen. But now I'm one person and I feel amazing. So when you want to have a business and you want to be successful, you can't do everything. So instead of taking your money over shopping when things ain't going right, or overeating, or just blowing money, put it into your business. You know what I mean? Put it into your dream. That's how I got here. Sometimes I had to let the Bentley go, the Range Rovers, the house I done been foreclosed, all kind of stuff. But I stayed focused on my dream. They may have been able to take material things from me, but not my dream.
You better believe it.
Not my dream. I am so thankful to God that I'm able to even stand here, a city that I damn near got kicked out of. I was so broken when I left here. And my walk was very unkind to myself and others. And I'm not proud of what I've done, but I thank God that I had a family from Harrisburg, the Wilson Cofield family, and then all my extended family that prayed for me. I left here strung out. I got dropped off in Atlanta with $200 and 2 suitcases, strung out on drugs, and ended up homeless. A lot of people say, how was you home? You had a family. I couldn't come home in that state because I was raised better than that. So I went to the mission and I hit them streets and I rebuilt my life. And because of Harrisburg, the love that I get from Harrisburg, the prayers from my family, I'm standing here thankful to God that I'm here. I'm free. I'm happy. And I'm so grateful. The spirit of gratitude and the spirit of just being thankful every day will help open doors for you. And I just want to tell everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? You told me them. Okay.
We love you.
I love y'all.
I just thank you for your story because I'm going through the same thing with my city. I love my city, born and raised here. So I thank you for your story.
Yes.
I love it.
I love Harrisburg. I really
and Linda's
do.
my big sister, so we related too.
Oh, okay. I do. A lot of people call